Hi, today is December 13th, 2024. This video is the first video in a new sequence, Python for Beginners in Data Science. In today's video, we'll talk about how to install Anaconda and how to use JupyterNotebook to create reproducible reports. Let's start from Google search Anaconda. Just search Anaconda, download, and then click this page. You will be directed here. If you want to register, just go ahead and input your email. If you don't, just skip registration. And then you can download corresponding to your system. You might wonder why we need to install Anaconda installation. So that's because it is a very good comprehensive installation. If you take a look at the packages that comes with Anaconda, you will know why. So for example, after you installed Anaconda, all of these packages will be available for you, like NumPy, Pandas, JupyterNotebook, and for visualization, we have Matplotlib, Seaborn, Plotly. So I use these very often. And also for machine learning, there are scikit-learn, TensorFlow, Keras, etc. Okay, so I highly recommend you install Anaconda directly instead of installing Python by itself. Okay. Then you have to install these packages one after the other by yourself. It will be kind of a headache. Alright, now the installation is pretty straightforward, so I will skip that part. So after you install Anaconda, you can find it in your start menu and then launch Anaconda. Then you will see this page, okay, this platform for Anaconda Navigator. Okay. And you see a lot of distributions or packages are available for you, including this Jupyter. Okay. So in our tutorial, we will use Jupyter most of the time. So let's launch this. Click this to launch Jupyter. Okay. After we click launch Jupyter, we will be directed to a page like this. So this is sort of like the home page of Jupyter. Because I have been using Jupyter for quite a while, I have a lot of folders and documents available already. If you are a beginner in Jupyter, probably this directory is quite empty. Okay. So now let's create a new Jupyter notebook. Just click Python 3. And then we see a new Jupyter notebook is open for us. Okay. And immediately you can change the title. So by default, the title is untitled. We can say it's Introduction to Jupyter. I rename it. Okay. Then I start. Okay. You see by default, only one cell is available. Okay. And for each cell, there are 3 modes: code, Markdown, or raw. Code obviously is for Python code or some other type of code. Okay. Markdown. What is Markdown? Markdown is sort of like a language. You can use it to include text in your report. So let's start from Markdown because Jupyter is very good at creating presentations or reports, and it's reproducible. So let's start with Markdown. So the first topic is headers. Okay, let's talk about headers first. Headers. There are at least 5 layers of headers available in Markdown. One example. Let's see how they work. Let me change it to Markdown. So the highest level, the first level header is denoted by a pound key, 1 pound key. Okay. Then the second level will be 2 pound keys, etc. If we run this, you will see the differences. So the first level header is the biggest, and then the second level, third level, okay? And you can also collapse them, okay, if they are in the same header, okay? So that's headers, okay? Then the next topic is fonts, okay? So let's briefly talk about fonts available in Jupyter Markdown. So first, bold letters. Okay, so how to create bold letters? You can use 2 asterisk. For example, if you type this, okay, you see this bold. The word bold is bold in bold style. Okay. And then what about Italian? Very simple, you just use 1 asterisk. Let's run it. And by the way, you see if you want to run a cell, just click this arrow. And then next, sometimes you want to include some formulas into your report. For example, you want to include a regression formula into your report. You can do the following. And there are 2 ways to insert formulas. One way is called inline formulas. Okay, how to do that? For example, I would say the regression formula is, so for inline formulas, you wrap the formula in a pair of dollar signs. Okay, so for example, the formula is y equals beta 0 plus beta 1 times x plus epsilon. Okay, so you see, for Greek letters, you need to use this slash special notation. Okay. And then period. Okay. If we run it, you see this formula is embedded in a sentence. And obviously, there is another way, which is a standalone formula. Okay. In this case, you just need to use double dollar signs. Okay. So for example, if we copy the whole sentence and paste it here, and get rid of the period at the end, and add a dollar sign on each side. Okay, so you see what happens. The formula is standalone, and it is also centered. Okay, previously, it is inserted in the sentence, and now it is by itself. And that's it about formulas. And the next topic is insert web page links and images. So first, sometimes we want to insert a web page into our report. For example, suppose I want to promote my YouTube channel data flow. I can do the following. My YouTube channel is, okay, so first I need to wrap the name of my channel in a pair of bracket parentheses, and then add a pair of regular parentheses and insert the path, the URL, in the parentheses. So let me go back to my channel. Okay, so it's here. Okay, so copy the shared link and paste in the parentheses. Then let's run the cell. So you see the website of my YouTube channel is kind of highlighted. If I click it, I'll be directed to my YouTube channel. Okay, very convenient. So this is 4.1. Insert a web page. If we want to embed a local image into our report, local means we have saved or downloaded an image into our local folder in our computer. There are a few ways to do it. The first way is to use Python code. Let's see how to do it. So we first need to import a function from a Python package. So the code is from IPython import display. So display is a function. IPython is a package. So I will import this specific function from this package. So we'll talk about Python packages and how to import them later. But for now, let's just use it. And then we can call the function display.image. Then you need to insert the path or directory where you save your image into this pair of quotes. So suppose I want to insert an image of my dog. So I first need to copy the directory and remember the name of the picture. So I would first copy and paste the directory, and then type the name of the image, and also you should include the extension. So if you're not sure about extension, just right click and check properties. You see it's a JPG file. So extension is .jpg. So I will use JPG. Alright. And then let's run this. Oh, it doesn't work. You know why? Because we need to change the slash, change the direction of the slash, and then it should work. Okay, run it. Okay, so the image is included in the file. Another way, which is pretty simple, is to drag and drop the image to the Markdown file. So let me just copy and paste the title here. So drag and drop. How to do it? So first, create a new cell. Okay, so by default, it's code. Don't forget about it. Okay, change it to Markdown first. Okay, so that's why it's called drag and drop image to Markdown cell. Okay, it has to be a Markdown first. Okay, and then locate your picture or image and drag it to the cell. Okay, then you're done. You see, and then if you run it, you see the image is included. This is pretty convenient to insert a local image to your Jupyter Notebook. And then what if we want to insert an image from an online resource? We can do the following. Actually, the syntax is the same with this one. We will still use the display.image function. The only difference is that instead of using this local directory, we will include the URL of the image here. So for example, suppose I want to insert an image of Elon Musk into my report. Okay, I can do the following. So first, let me just go to Google, and then I will search for Elon Musk. Okay, and then click images. Choose a good picture. I think this one is pretty good. And then click it and right click the image and click copy image link. Then go back to our Jupyter Notebook. Because it's quite long, we can save it as a Python object. So make sure to put the URL in a pair of quotes. Then we can just call the display.image function and just directly put URL here. And when you're done, okay, so see the image is inserted successfully. Just make sure that you have the copyright of the image if you want to publish your work. Otherwise, you may have trouble. But anyway, it is very convenient to insert an image from URL. And lastly, we will see how to include Python code. So very straightforward. For example, if you want to print a sentence, okay, make sure you put the sentence in a pair of quotes. Okay, so for example, let's print hello, new world. Okay, and then just click run, and it works, right? Code and output are all included. Okay, we can also define a variable. Suppose we want to define two variables and calculate the quotient of them. And we want to add some comments. Okay, we can have standalone comments. Okay, for example, define two variables. Okay, we can say x is equal to 200 and y is equal to 5. And then we add another line of comment. Calculate the quotient of x and y. So just directly calculate x divided by y, and then you get the result. Alright, Then let's briefly talk about these buttons and the drop-down menu. So first, this one is save. So make sure you save your Jupyter Notebook before you close it. Okay, Jupyter Notebook does not automatically save your input. Okay, so click save. And this button is used to insert a cell below your current cell. So you see the cell that is highlighted is the current cell. If I click plus, then a new cell will be added below the previously current cell. And this one is cut. If you want to delete the current cell, just click it. Okay. Alternatively, you can click this trash can button to remove a cell. And this is copy. Okay. Suppose so this cell is our current cell. If we copy, we'll copy this cell. Okay. And then this is paste. So click it, then the same cell will be pasted below the previous cell. And it's redundant. Let's remove it. And also, this is run and this is interrupt. So sometimes you might have a bug in your code. For example, a cell runs forever, it never stops. It takes an abnormally long time to run a cell. In that case, something must be wrong. Probably there is a dead cycle in your code. In that case, you want to click this button and stop the process, so that you can restart. You can debug and restart. So notice that there is another mode, which is raw. So this one is somehow in between code and Markdown. It will just present as is, no matter what the input is. For example, now it is a code cell, right? If we change it to raw, then it is somehow like a plain presentation of the cell. Okay? There's no output because it's not code. And it's not text either. Okay, so for example, this one, if I click raw, then it will not be a header anymore. So it's somehow useful because sometimes you want to include some code, but you just want to show the code itself without running the code. In that case, you can use this mode, raw mode. Okay, let's change them back. All right, now let's take a look at the file drop menu. There are some. You can create a new Jupyter notebook. You can save the notebook, and you can download it and edit. So the very first function is pretty useful. Undo. I suppose you do something that is not good, you can undo the last action, cancel it. And there are some other functions. Okay, and view. I think one function that is pretty useful is this table of contents. If you click this, you will see an outline of the structure of your report is shown here, which is pretty convenient, so that you can see the big picture of your report and you can adjust it if you want. And run, you can choose to run a selected cell, or you can run up above selected cell or up below selected cell, etc. A lot of options, okay, which are very convenient to use. And then kernel. So if something wrong with your code, you want to restart your kernel or you want to do something else, these are all available, and some other things. Okay. Alright, I think that's all for this short introduction to Jupyter Notebook. If you think this video is helpful, please like the video and subscribe my channel to support me. And next time we will talk about Python basic syntax for Python coding. And see you next time.